Hi, in this video we're going to show you how you can use all of the different aspects of managing contacts within your ZapBoard. Now your ZapBoard inside of ZapInfo is this little area here. Think of it like a shopping cart full of contacts and leads and profiles that you've zapped from anywhere on the web. Once you bring people in, you can see my profile here. You can just click on a person and it'll actually bring you into the big view of all the data. Now if you zap somebody from a LinkedIn profile, you'll actually see all of this kind of information. Their experiences, their education, all that good stuff, along with their phone number and things like that. Now, in order to edit some of the data, you can just click into a field. So like you can see here, I clicked into this, and maybe I want to clean it up or change the title of something. Once you go ahead and click on that, you can go ahead and change the value, and then either just hit enter or hit save changes, and that'll go ahead and update that information for you. Other parts of the ZapBoard, which are great, again, you can hit the icon key here. If you want to delete a record, you can go ahead and hit delete a record. The other thing is when you hover over fields, you can see that there's a couple of icons that typically come up for the different areas here. This is the copy function, so if you wanted to copy a value to put it somewhere, you could. If you want to delete the field value, you can just click on this and it will just delete that field value. When I have deleted the field value, what it'll do is put in a find button here. Now when I click on find, you'll see what happens is it says, hey, where would you like to find where this person might work? So I'm going to say LinkedIn, and it's going to do a search for me, and sure enough, it's going to put me on my record, and then I can go ahead and either copy the data from here or I can re-zap it. So once I've found a person, I can go ahead and say, look, I want to zap this information, and then it will give me this chance to combine the data that it finds with the new and updated data. So now you can go ahead and see that it actually found and put my company name in. It even found my work email address out here as well. I'm going to go ahead and delete these because there's other things that you can do with these capabilities. Now again, with most of these open fields, you can either type something in directly, you can hit find if you want to go find it, or you can hit generate. Now, one of the things is as long as you have a company name for somebody and you have a full name for them, in most cases you can click our enrich capability. And what this will do is it'll go and hit multiple backend API systems to try to find either work email, personal email. Sometimes it'll go on and find links for a person, social identities such as their Facebook and Twitter like it did for me here. So these are all great ways for you to be able to do that. You can also come in and click generate on the personal email address for folks. So in this case, it's going to create a bunch of different email addresses for me, and I'm going to hit validate, and I'm going to hit use here because this is my valid personal email address, and this is with some of our paid subscriptions. You can go ahead and do that. Now, if I wanted to send an email to myself, you can see there's now an engage via email. There's also an engage function up here for engage for work email, engage for personal email. If I click on that, it's going to ask me what template I want to use, and then I can just click on email template, and it will go ahead and generate or create that email for me, and then launch my local email program to be able to send that personalized email address. So it's a great way for me to be able to go ahead and use what we call our messaging application to do that. Now you can also send social messages. So I could click on the LinkedIn icon here if I wanted to send a connection example to somebody, and it will just reload that LinkedIn profile, open up the messaging dialog, and then place that message. Now I can't message myself. I'll go ahead and zap somebody else to show you an example a little bit later, but those are the types of things that you can do. Now, if you want to change your templates, you can go ahead and click those inside of here. There's another video that shows you how you can work with all these engagement elements, but you can literally personalize these incredibly well in order to be able to work with them. I mostly wanted to just stay on showing you how you could go ahead and utilize some of these. Now, if I click on LinkedIn, it would take me to LinkedIn. There is a big lookup feature here, so I can go and look for, where people live, what their data and information is. Once I get that data, I can go ahead and zap that data, and then it'll combine that data together. So I'm building this much more robust profile for every person once I've got all of that information in. So see here, you can see it's put my address information in, my zip code. Sometimes your ATS or CRM systems require that data, but now I've got all these other alternative potential email addresses that might be out there for any person that I can reach as well. Now lastly, you can go ahead, I've got a bunch of applications in here. You're likely not going to see these, but if you want to zap somebody out to your Talent CRM or ATS, it will likely show up in here once we've got your account linked. But you can generate a web link for someone. So if you're in staffing, this is an awesome way to go out and create a web link for somebody. You can see it up here now, and then click on this, and it just brings up a brilliant, it's like a LinkedIn URL, but none of the LinkedIn data is on here. So you're not going to get relationships or any of that kind of stuff. And it's a much more powerful web link that you can also get feedback from managers to say, hey, I either like or dislike candidates. So it's an incredibly powerful candidate delivery mechanism. You can also change these, and so there's a change icon for this, and you can click on this and it will say, oh, this profile's been viewed. You'll get an email alert if it's been viewed. If you've gotten feedback, your feedbacks will look here. But let's say you wanted to blind the candidate data and you don't want feedback or comments on it. You can now go ahead and just close this. And now when you look at that web link, it's going to look really different. It's going to strip the candidate's name out. It'll play your information as the recruiter along with your email feedback, but they won't be able to see any of the data that might identify the candidate. So again, if you want to generate blind profiles, you can do that. You can do the same thing with a PDF. So if you don't want to show the contact data, you don't want the headshot of the person in, you can now go ahead and build a PDF version of any profile. And so now instead of retyping resumes and stuff like that, if you will, when you're trying to introduce candidates to your clients, you can go ahead and generate basically these really awesome PDF documents that will be much better looking than something you might just download, but you don't have to retype and stuff. You can even put your logo and branding information in as well. So what's neat about the ZapInfo tool is you can come into the back end here, you can click on the Z button, and you can say up in the gear icon that I want to go to my dashboard, and once I'm in my dashboard I can go ahead and update my profile. And this is where you would update your company logo, your profile, if you want your phone number data in here, even your LinkedIn and Twitter. All of this is what will basically start to show up on those outbound web links. So again, this is just a great way for you to be able to use this contact database board very, very easily. You can start to merge contacts together back and forth if you want to, and you can put someone into a list. So let's say I've got a list here of executives that I'm to contact. You can go ahead and create these lists, and then when you're back in your ZapBoard, you'll be able to look at those lists and organize contacts by that as well. The other thing is, once you're done here, you can go ahead and grab people and hit zap out and move them out to a spreadsheet or a clipboard. So again, a lot of other things you can do, but again, we just wanted to kind of show you quickly here how you could work with some of this. There is a forward and back contact loop here as well. Once you start to get multiple people in, you can move back and forth. But again, this is just a really great overview on the quick and powerful ways that you can use this contact view inside of the ZapBoard to look people up, to edit and update their data, and then generate and create deliverables for your customers.